Jack Campbell working one-on-one with linebacker Luke Kuechly. Obviously, this is a huge deal for Bills Mafia, knowing that Sean McDermott and Luke Kuechly, the relationship there, seeing Luke Kuechly come to Buffalo Bills OTAs and training camp, helping out with Sean McDermott, knowing that the relationship is still there, and knowing that the top guy for me, Jack Campbell, linebacker, perfect, flawless fit and replacement to Jermaine Edmonds, is going to be there potentially for the Buffalo Bills. Welcome to my channel, Bills News Consolidated. We got to discuss it. What is the realistic possibility the Buffalo Bills are able to draft Jack Campbell at 27th overall? Is Brandon Beane eyeing a move up, a trade up? And he actually spilled the beans a little bit in his latest press conference interview, stating once we get to that 20th overall pick, we'll have a better idea as to whether the Bills are going to be moving up or moving down. And I really think that really hinges on Jack Campbell. This is all about Jack Campbell, and Sean McDermott even flat out saying he doesn't care about the combine. He doesn't care about the stats that come out of the combine and the measurables, right? He likes the film. He likes turning on the tape. He likes grinding, and he likes football players. And that is exactly what Jack Campbell is, although he did tear it up at the NFL Combine. And we did hear Brandon Beane, a sneak peek interview from that NFL Combine with his binoculars, state, man, he's going to fly up the draft board. And I really believe they are all talking about Jack Campbell, a perfect fit for Bills Mafia. Now, the other concern here are the other teams needing a linebacker in this year's NFL draft, knowing that they're going to be drafting ahead of the Buffalo Bills. Would a team such as potentially the Tampa Bay Buccaneers poach a player like Jack Campbell away from the Buffalo Bills? Now, look about it, hear about it. Devin White, potential trade target for Bills Mafia. Devin White ran a 4.4240 at his NFL Combine, a lot faster than Jack Campbell's 4.6540. So how much is that going to really fit the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Tampa Bay, they are drafting earlier than the Bills, and they are drafting right at that 19th overall spot. There is another team that we need to be concerned about. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are drafting 17th overall. There are rumors that Jack Campbell is on the Pittsburgh Steelers' radar. Arthur Moats, an ex-Buffalo Bill, going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, has a good idea what Pittsburgh is looking for. But they brought in some linebackers, right? Robert Aladdin was another linebacker that they brought in as a free agent. So would they consider drafting another linebacker after they splurged on a couple linebackers in this past free agency? Now, the Buffalo Bills are still sitting there at 27th overall. The other team that could draft another linebacker, the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys actually sit right ahead of the Buffalo Bills at 26 overall. So by Brandon Beane specifically stating, right when we get to that 20th overall pick, he's going to know whether or not to trade up or trade down. And I really think it hinges on Jack Campbell. If Jack Campbell gets drafted 17th overall to the Pittsburgh Steelers, Bills might want to consider trading down, right? If Jack Campbell goes to the 19th overall to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, maybe Brandon Beane works a trade for Devin White. Maybe we use that first round pick and we actually trade for Devin White. So I think we have to do our own reading and reacting in this year's NFL draft, depending on what happens. But for me, it's clear the Buffalo Bills' top prospect right now is Jack Campbell. Now, I see Jack Campbell as one of the best linebackers in pass coverage in a long time here, especially for his size, a 6'5", 250-pound linebacker. To see how agile he is and how fluid he is in his back pedal and how quick his transition step is, running one of the fastest three-cone drills, running a faster three-cone drill in shuttle time than Trenton Simpson, who also ran a 4.4340. I mean, these are lightning speeds. So that top-end speed, that 4.6540 for Jack Campbell, you couple that with his instincts, with his understanding of the game, he is ultimately faster than Trenton Simpson. Now, the other thing to keep in mind here, knowing that these other teams need linebacker, I really think we have to understand these teams, right? Tampa Bay, 3-4. Dallas Cowboys, 3-4 scheme. Pittsburgh Steelers, 3-4. The Buffalo Bills are 4-3. So it's much different. It's a little bit different. And what is the one thing that is kind of hurting Jack Campbell, right? I would say maybe his pass rushing ability, right? He might not be the best pass rusher in this class. A lot of people are saying that Drew Sanders is the best linebacker, pass rushing linebacker. 9.5 sacks against 6 nationally ranked teams last year. And we know what that 3-4 scheme is all about. You know, stunning, blitzing, sending those linebackers, kind of dictating each linebacker's role. You're not really necessarily reading and reacting, right? It's a scheme. They're sending you on blitz, on coverage, right? But that's why I believe Jack Campbell fits the Buffalo Bills middle linebacker position. Yes, he could work out in a 3-4 scheme and all those things. And yes, he might fit the DNA of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he plays that hard-nosed, old-school style football. But Jack Campbell, I think, is a much better fit for the Buffalo Bills in this 4-3 scheme. He is just unbelievable. I mean, you see him dropping back into coverage, picking the ball off, putting his hand up, just having such a knack for the football. Jack Campbell is clearly the top dog for the Buffalo Bills, 27th overall pick. But we are making preparations there in case Jack Campbell is selected ahead of the Buffalo Bills. And I already mentioned it could be Tampa Bay, it could be the Dallas Cowboys, it could be the Pittsburgh Steelers. But when you take a look at all these things, I really think Jack Campbell fits the Bills the absolute best. But Brandon Beane is eyeing up that 20th overall spot. I don't know if we're going to be able to get ahead of 17. I don't know if we're going to be able to get ahead of 19. But as soon as those picks happen, if Tampa Bay and the Pittsburgh Steelers decide to go a different route, I really think the Buffalo Bills could easily jump ahead of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys definitely makes the most amount of sense for Jack Campbell, Drew Sanders, right? I think the Bills and Brandon Beane would be wise to jump ahead of the Cowboys, get the guy that we actually want, Jack Campbell, who's been working with Luke Kuechly one-on-one. You know, the insight, the knowledge that Luke Kuechly is going to be giving to Sean McDermott, preparing him for the NFL, preparing him for the same scheme in the NFL. I mean, this is just huge. This is huge. And who knows, maybe Luke Kuechly comes to training camp again. He comes to OTAs again and helps out with this team. It continues working with Jack Campbell, getting him up to speed, being the quarterback of this defense. The first time Sean McDermott's going to be calling plays for this defense. I think we need a player to exude Sean McDermott on a play-to-play basis. You need to bleed and sweat Sean McDermott in that middle linebacker role. Potential rookie of the year, potential NFL MVP of the year playing at that middle linebacker spot. Jack Campbell is clearly the guy for Bills Mafia. Yes, we have Trenton Simpson too, Drew Sanders, but I don't know if the Bills are going to be willing to draft one of those guys 27th overall. Maybe if we get to a later valued pick, makes a little bit more sense. And you can't forget about the other players. If Jack Campbell gets drafted ahead of the Buffalo Bills, just going to push other talent back to us, like a Jackson Smith-Njigba, a DeJuan Jones, right? Some of these other big names. And I really think the Cowboys could easily draft Bijan Robinson to pair with Tony Pollard, knowing that Ezekiel Elliott is on the trade block. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit like, subscribe. Jack Campbell is definitely the top dog. Baby, I love it. Absolutely love it. Working one-on-one with Luke Kuechly, Trenton Simpson, growing up watching Sean McDermott in Carolina and Luke Kuechly. I think those are some huge, huge things. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit like, subscribe. Go Bills. Peace.